Hello, dear friends. I welcome all the friends in my channel of Arif Shahmarli. I decided to make weekly review of the events of the week, what is happening around the world and particularly in our region. I know that by doing videos in English, there are less viewers. Most of the public that follows me are either Azeri speaking or Russian speaking. But I will try because it's very important to share the views of people who live in the region of the Caucasus with the international community, so that people should know what is happening, what's up in the world. I call this program the Panorama of the Week, so that we will try to have this weekly panorama of the week. And please follow us. You may ask the questions. This is my WhatsApp number. You may call me, and today we'll discuss several important issues. Firstly, Iranian elections, results of the Iranian elections, very important, event and very important result. And Azerbaijani factor in Iranian elections for the first time for a long time. Of course, Azerbaijani Turks have been ruling elite in Iran throughout its history. More than 1,400 years, Azerbaijani dynasties ruled Iran. But now we have a newly elected president, a reformist president, and he is Masoud Pezeshkian. He is of Azeri origin. We'll talk about that. And with this new window of opportunities for the US and EU in Iran, because Iran is very important country. Neglecting Iran is a big mistake, and I believe that there should be the new approach to Iran, to the new Iran. We'll also discuss US-Armenia, US-Georgia, US-Azerbaijan relations. We also will touch upon the Orban, Viktor Orban. You know that Hungary from 1st of July became the chair of the European Union. Now, presidents of the European Union is now on Hungary hands, and we see a huge activity of Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban. He visited Putin. He met with Zelensky. He's very active. This shuttle diplomacy. We see also. We'll talk about this as well. So we start with the results of Iranian elections, and there were in fact two main candidates. Of course, there were many candidates, but at the final stage, there were mostly Masoud Pezeshkian and Saeed Jalili. Both candidates were, quite popular, but finally, we saw that Iranian people's choice fall on Masoud Pezeshkian. He's a reformist. He's a defender of women's rights in Iran. He was very critical on suppressions in Iran, on imposing, strict dress code for Iranian women. And what is interesting, most of his campaign, he was speaking in the different, gatherings, mostly Azerbaijani language, Azerbaijani Turkish language, and I will try to see some of his, very interesting, addresses of Pezeshkian. Yes, this is.
قاطعیتlə demişəm, mən Türkəm. Mən Azərbaycanda dünyaya gəlmişəm. Atam da Türkdür, anam da Türkdür və bu işi Türkəm, iftixar edirəm.
İranda prezidentliyə namizəd Məsud Pezeşkiyan belə deyib. Bu onun əvvəllər
You see, he says, I am Azeri, Turk. My father is Azeri, my mother is Azeri, and you know, and he made his public speeches and his election campaign in Azeri language, even in the capital of Tehran. I don't speak, of course, he spoke Azeri in Tabriz, Ardabil, and many areas of Iran where he visited. He also spoke Kurdish because his wife, no, his mother is has some Kurdish, background. He spoke in Kurdish areas in Kurdish, in excellent Kurdish, and he spoke with Azerbaijani communities during all his campaign in Azerbaijani language. Before, it was unimaginable. Nobody could believe that once in Iran, presidential candidate will appeal to the people and will seek for their support in Azerbaijani language. And of course, this is a big change. We also see how people. You see, Iranian Azeris, they chant the slogans. Azerbaijani language should be in all Iranian schools and universities. Many people in Iran speak Azerbaijani in the family, in the streets. If you go to Tehran or Ardabil or Tabriz, you can almost freely speak Azeri in the markets everywhere. It's widely spoken, but it's not taught in the schools and universities. Although Azerbaijanis make up to 30 million of population, the ratio of Azerbaijanis in Iran is almost equal to Farsis, between 25-30 million. And this sweeping victory and a very important victory of Mesut Pezeshkian means that the new wind of change is coming to Iran. It is a new wave is coming. And of course, also why people voted for him, because Iranian people want the change. They're tired of the sanctions. They're tired of mullah regime. They're tired of confrontation with the West, with the East, with everybody, and they want just to live normal life. And mostly there is Iranians are really tired about this regime. Yeah, I will put the photo of Mesut Pezeshkian. His Azeri is excellent. When he speaks Azerbaijani, he says that I am Azeri Turk, but his Azeri is absolutely similar to the Azeri language spoken in Azerbaijan. And he gives impression of really someone who will bring changes to Iran, And he was a minister of health of Iran. He was a member of the parliament, so that he's not someone new in the politics. Let me see what people write. Yeah, this is just cheering. Hi, Lamia Hanum, and I am happy to see all the fans. But please, if you can share, please share. This video in social platforms. It will be very useful. But I want that our voice is wider heard around the world in other places. So Azerbaijani factor will certainly increase now because he's Azeri. He said that even at my home, I forbid my children to speak other language, so that he forbid his children to speak official language of the country, of Farsi. If somebody would tell this, maybe 20, 30 will be sued or maybe put in prison or tortured or imprisoned even. But this time he says, yeah, I forbid my kids to speak other language than Azeri. And it means that Iranian society is changing. People, but mullah regime, they also understand that uh, this is the wind that is coming, and they cannot confront this wind. And the best way for them is to accept this, because otherwise it can lead to huge problems in Iran, social confrontation, even civil war. And I think that even the mullah regime of Khamenei, they realized that the only person who can pull Iran from the deep, deep hole is this man. Uh, and also, United States and European Union should seize this opportunity. This is huge opportunity. Of course, many would say that in Iran, everything on foreign policy, particularly, is decided by the supreme religious leader, Khamenei. Uh, but we know that there is a saying that not position makes person great, but person makes position bigger. And I believe that uh, if to help this man, and also taking into consideration that Iranian internal situation, the expectations of the Iranian society, I think that Pezeshkian can be very powerful, and his power will depend on the support of what he does. And he also spoke very openly in favor of resuming 2015 a deal between the Iran and the West, between Iran and the United States, and Iran and the European Union. So European Union should seize the window of opportunity with Iran, and to establish new healthy relations with Iran, because Iran is extremely important. Uh, More powerful is Iran, the you know the less ambitious, the ambitious. Powerful Iran will also mean that reducing ambitions of these Gulf country leaders. Uh, and Iran has also, if we take Iranian population, Iranians are very, very intellectual. If you go to European countries, from Brussels to Belgium, Netherlands, other countries, you see most of the Iranians are lawyers, more of the Iranians are scientists, more of the Iranians are excellent doctors. So there is huge and very intellectual, very well-educated population. Iranian scientists, they were capable of producing of building the nuclear power station. Of course, with Russia help. Before it was France who wanted to help, but anyway, Iranians have intellectual capacity to build modern weaponry and good science, be advanced in technologies, in law, in many, many areas. And if you go travel around the world, you can see many, many important Iranians being the directors of the bank, or excellent scientists or doctors, as I said. So uh, there is a huge window of opportunity, and the West should start now. If it didn't start yet, it is urgently. Iran is important for all geopolitics of the region. It's a key country. It has you know, multicultural country. Azerbaijani factor is very important, and probably it will grow even further. I'm sure that with Masoud Pezeshkian becoming president, there will be Azeri schools opening. Maybe Azeri language will be taught in universities. I don't exclude that Kurdish will be also taught, because he also addressed in Kurdish language. His mother is Kurdish, and he wasn't, hesitating to speak and to appeal to to the Kurdish community. And he was supported by Kurdish, by Azeri, by other minorities in Iran. And many Farsis also voted for him, because they are tired of this mullah regime, of this kleptocratic, religious community. They want opening up, because Iranians, particularly Iranian women, Iranian women are very, very active, and we saw their struggle for liberty, for dress code liberty. There were, you remember, very serious protests that have overtaken of Iran. So that this is very important, and I believe that Iran will become even more important in the regional politics, in economic connections, because Iran is also very important producer of energy. Of Iran producer, one of the major producer of oil, gas, and many other things. Iran is geographically located, Persian Gulf, Caspian Sea, and it can be excellent connection. So that it is time to start the new page with Iran. And I believe that there is huge opportunity to work with Iran. And I think that now it's time to really think about opening the new page with Iran. Let me see. Yes, let me see. I prepared some videos for you. Just I show you Pezeshkian photo. I also showed you. I think that yes, he's
Qatiyyətlə demişəm mən türkəm. Mən Azərbaycanda dünyaya gəlmişəm. Atam da türkdür, anam da türkdür və bu işi
You see, he says, I say with very strong, very strongly with, concretely that I am Azerbaijani. My mother is Azerbaijani. My father is Azerbaijani. And then the interviewer asks, but there are rumors that you are also half Kurdish. He says, isn't it clear? I said already that my father and my mother are Azerbaijanis, and Azerbaijani language is spoken in my family. I forbid my kids to speak any other language. So we stop with this, but I believe that it's very, very important. My message is for European politicians to think about importance of Iran, and I believe that now or never, But Iran is so important to be ignored. United States, announced that there will be. I'm sorry, I just take off this photo because I don't think that we should. Yes. United States announced that there will be joint military exercises with Armenia, Eagle Partners, from 14th to 24th of July. 14th to 24th of July. Not with Georgia, because Eagle Partners was, military exercises that were carried out in Georgia. But the first time these exercises will be carried out with Armenia. So we see that US-Armenia military partnership is increasing, and US not only does it, but it shows that now in the Caucasus, in the South Caucasus, our priority country is Armenia. Key country is Armenia. Investments will come to Armenia. Security will be provided to Armenia. And, transport corridors will have to go to Armenia. So there is a very strong accent on Armenia, on support of Armenia. Also, very strong signals to both Azerbaijan and Georgia. It's not just a signal for Georgia, but also for Azerbaijan. US wants to say that now Armenia is our ally, it's under our protection, and don't think of something else. Don't even think about third war in the Caucasus, fourth war. No, now Armenia is under our protection. This message is also for Russia. We see that Russia gets very strong signal that, Armenia is under our protectorate now, on our protectorate, and we see that's why we see Russia is very careful. We see in the past it was unimaginable that Armenia will, not will refuse to participate at collective security treaty organization meetings, at other gatherings, and ask a Russian base, Russian team to leave international airport and in the borders, and the statements coming from Yerevan are quite brave and quite, straightforward. And Russians are furious about that, but they cannot do anything because Americans gave a strong signal also to Russia that don't even think about meddling in Armenia. It's a small country, and it's not only Russia, or not only the United States. We see that the European Union, France, and other countries are, just showing strong support to Armenia. It's also signal to Turkey. We see in the parallel track, Turkish-Armenia relations are becoming stronger every day. There are, shuttle diplomacy. There are many, things happening behind the closed doors. It's clear. And I believe that, that Ilham Aliyev invited Turkic leaders for the summit in Shusha. Who wasn't there? Erdogan wasn't there. He, of course, he said that no, he has to watch football play. But I believe that it's not just for that. Erdogan didn't want to irritate and to put under question the normalization of the relationship. Erdogan has a political sense. He senses that it is important to build good relations with Armenia and to take Armenia under its, good relationship. Now it's time to start the new page also in Armenia-Turkish relationship. For Armenia, it is key. Armenia relations with Turkey should be more priority than any relations with any other country because it's neighbor country, it's huge country, economically, politically, it's very important to normalize relationship and to drop this historical evaluation and historical escort to the history. It is time to look forward, not backward. I always say that you cannot go speedily forward if your head is turned back. You have to look straight forward, break all the boxes, and go forward. And I believe that Armenia should have equally good relations with Azerbaijan, with Turkey, with Georgia, and of course, as I said, Turkey is very, very important. And of course, under American patronage. And America shows, and probably it puts this question everywhere, whether they speak with Turks, whether they speak with Europeans, they actively demonstrate that relations with Armenia are important. And I don't think that under new administration things will change. And if tomorrow Trump comes, I don't think that there will be, a big change. Let's go to other subjects. And of course, I can imagine Georgians are frustrated because the biggest friend of Americans in the region was Georgia. Of Europeans was Georgia. Georgia was like, wow, the favorite, the favorite ally or the favorite country for Europe. Apparently, it's not the case anymore. So that this law that Georgian parliament accepted on foreign agent, was a big blow to Georgia-EU relations and Georgia-American relations. We switch to other issues on our today's agenda. Uh, let me see. We have seen, you know, Viktor Orban uh, and Hungary started uh, a presidency in the European Union. During this 6 months of presidency, Hungary has key role in European politics. He almost from the first day he visited Zelensky. He met with Zelensky. He presented peace plan. Uh, then he visited Putin. He met with Putin, and he also presented peace plan. He talked about with Putin about that. Uh, uh, uh, he will speak with Turkey, with Azerbaijan, and many with other countries, so that we see Hungarian presidency. Orban starts very active uh, diplomacy, uh, and some people think that, oh, you know Orban dictator, what he does, he will be punished. European Union will be angry with what he does. No, it is stupid to think like this. You know, we should understand that without green light from European countries, Orban wouldn't do this. I am sure that he convinced the European other leaders and the Council of the European Union that now give me give me chance to try to solve the war, because Europe is tired. Economy is going down. Uh, Ruling elites in Europe are losing elections. European elections are almost completely lost. We saw that French, German, everybody lost elections. Now we saw election results in UK. It's partly also result of the Russia-Ukrainian war. So Europe wants to stop the war. Their economies are not capable of carrying out of supporting Ukraine for the next 2-3 years. Yes, they may support until the end of the year, but they're not sure if they can do this next year and the next year and the next year. They understand that apparently Putin will not stop. Of course, Putin wants to stop, and that's why he initiates many discussions on this, and he speaks about importance of the peace deal, but I don't think that he's ready to accept withdrawal from all occupied territories, etc., because if he does it, then he will be asked by the Russian society, but his own by his own team. So Orban, but we also should understand, some people say, Orban is stupid, Orban is dictator. Orban is the main communicator. He does everything in consultations with Donald Trump. Who is the best friend of Donald Trump in Europe? It's Viktor Orban. We shouldn't forget about that. Viktor Orban is the best friend of possible future American president. And if Trump becomes president, who will be the main player in European politics? Of course, it's very, very, very easy to to give the answer that very likely Orban will be even more important, because he has strong relations with Donald Trump. He was invited to his private house in, I think that in Miami. You know, uh, presidential candidate invites European Prime Minister Viktor Orban to his private home, like his private guest. Did he invite anybody else? No. So if tomorrow Trump becomes American president, Orban position, his role will be also highlighted and very important. And I believe that even his going meeting Putin and meeting Zelensky is also done under consultations with Donald Trump. I believe that behind active Orban foreign policy initiatives is Donald Trump. I have no doubt that Donald Trump, and his team has, direct consultations with Orban and his team on foreign policy, Russia, Ukraine, and he has a green light, and Europeans understand that. Можешь включить кнопку тест видео? I don't know what does it mean. Is it okay? I don't know. Let me see if the video is fine. Let me see. I believe that it should be okay. But I will just a second. I will see if it is okay or not. But I believe that it should be fine. Please write me if you believe that the quality is bad, because Andrei writes that можешь включить video, test video. Let me first see if it is. I believe it should be okay. Let me first see if it is. No, I see that it's fine. It's fine, but I don't know how can I put test video. I think that it's fine. Yeah, just I close this. Yeah, that's it. So I believe that there is no problem with the quality of the audio or video. So we have to understand that Orban, from being, treated as dictator, he might become a very important person in European politics. And
The dictator is coming. Dictator.
Mama said that it was quite alright. I kind of.
You see, when he comes to the EU summit, Juncker says, "Oh, dictator is coming," and slaps him in the face. But he was also, of course, friendly. Juncker was known for someone who liked to drink a lot of alcohol. But now many people say dictator. He's like not liked by other European leaders. But where are the other European leaders? They are all losers. They lost elections. Macron lost European elections. Scholz lost. Belgian prime minister resigned, and many. It's more or less the same picture around Europe. Only still strong display showed right party. Giorgia Meloni was, she just let me. Yeah, she's very strong. One of the strong leaders. Probably Giorgia Meloni and Orban might be very important players. And he started now presidency. If tomorrow Trump becomes next US president, Orban will be still president of the European Union. And I don't exclude that Trump will come with a visit to Brussels or even Hungary. He has been, so that we see already, I am sure, I have no doubt that Trump team already works with Viktor Orban very, very actively. And his shuttle diplomacy has, meaning, don't think that it is like he does on his own, that Europeans are unaware this dictator decided to go. No, of course not. And There were
Россия,
some
как
videos.
известно, никогда не отказывалась и сейчас готова к продолжению мирных переговоров. Отказалась от переговоров именно Украина. Причем сделала...
Putin says that Russia never refused from talks. He speaks at the Astana summit. Shanghai Cooperation Council summit was held in Astana. We see some pictures from this summit. You know, the leaders of mostly the leaders of the Central Asia, Russia, Pakistan, China. Xi Jinping was there. So it's growing organization. And it was important that, and Putin understands, Putin needs to stop the war because he knows that the more the war goes on, there will be more sanctions, there will be more restrictions, and the Russian economy will continue to fall and continue suffer. Of course, it is still, he knows that the limit, while the economy was more or less fine, this time is coming to an end, because now new sanctions, particularly new American sanctions, are much stronger and much, painful than all previous ones, because now sanctions hit Russian financial system, energy system, sales of oil and gas and liquid gas and LPG and other areas, so that Russia understands that it can still, maybe it has few months time, but then Russian economy will start crawling, like collapsing, and Putin understands that's why he desperately needs some ceasefire or deal with Ukraine through mediators. We see that he said that about Istanbul principles. So Putin would like that not EU will lead in this process, but some country which is outside of EU, like China, Turkey, or any other country, or Hungary maybe. So that Hungary is on bilateral level track is developing relations with many centers, but equally, you see, Orban is also developing very strong relations with China. You remember that Xi Jinping, Chinese president, he met with during his European tour. Who he met? He visited. He visited, of course, he met Macron because Macron was still, important European country's leader, and he went to Hungary. Again, we see Orban, being on the first front. He didn't go to Germany, he didn't go to Brussels, he didn't go to Netherlands, to Spain. He went to Hungary. And China is building biggest car producing factory in Hungary, and also electric car batteries also will be the biggest in Europe. So that investments, also Chinese investments, go also to Hungary. For China now to penetrate European market with its cars is very, very difficult. But once this factory will start working in Hungary, it will be sold like Hungarian with Chinese licenses, but it will be Hungarian, so that it can easily sell its cars in European markets. I think that for China, it's also a very good opportunity to sneak to European continent through Hungary. We see China starts, slowly, very quietly. He penetrated first a little bit in Africa, to some couple of African countries. Now, who is the biggest investor in Africa? China. Who is the biggest investor in the Middle East? China. In the Caucasus, one of the things that angered Americans and Europeans that China became second biggest investor in Georgia. Azerbaijan signed strategic partnership with China. So in Central Asia, China becoming a key player. So China slowly but surely increases its influence in many regions, as I said, in Asia, in Central Asia, in Russia, in Hungary, in Serbia, in the South Caucasus, and in the Middle East, in Africa, all Africa taken now by China. While Africans are angry about European influence, particularly about French influence, but they are happy to see China because China makes very clever policy of getting into and spreading its influence with small steps. China doesn't go aggressively; it does it slowly but surely. What other subject? I believe that I covered most of the subjects. Let me see. Maybe I forgot. I skipped something. Yeah, but we see that the world is developing. Yeah. Yes. That's it, my friends. I believe that I covered all of the stories. But we see that our region, the Caucasus, is boiling, still boiling. We see that uh, the geopolitics is changing. Like the best friend of the West and United States, Georgia, is becoming secondary partner, while Armenia becomes first partner. We see not only postponing the military exercise with Georgia, there are threat of sanctions. I don't think that Americans will impose sanctions on Georgia because Americans don't want to harm Georgian people, but harm those who are responsible for human rights violations, for introducing the laws which are against of European principles. But surely now Armenia is becoming, prime partner of the United States, and United States also demands Azerbaijan to sign the peace deal with Armenia. United States believe that with sustainable peace in the region, there can be, more stability, more investment, and more development of all the Caucasus together. You cannot single out Georgia, Armenia, and Azerbaijan. South Caucasus is a unique region where all three should be in the same tracking. Azerbaijan, Armenia, Georgia, and for that we have to think how we can build our regional cooperation, trust in the region, more understanding and different initiatives. And I believe in this respect, Turkish role will be very important. Turkey should play more role, and I believe that now there are lots of things happening on the level between Georgia, between Turkey and Armenia, and as I said, that we don't see harsh rhetoric from Ankara on Armenia-Azerbaijan relationship. We see Ankara that tries to keep the balance and tries to really engage in improving relations between Armenia and Azerbaijan. That's it, my friends. I believe that my small political panorama and top news of the week was useful. Please don't hesitate to send me the questions, and I will be delighted to answer. But I don't. For now, I see just hello and positive comments about me. But that's it. Thank you once again, and please join our English programs. Weekly programs next week, and also don't forget to like and share this video. Thanks again.